Welcome to Innovation Israel, the show that brings you the latest news and cutting-edge achievements directly from Tel Aviv, the heart of the startup nation. On today's show, we'll learn about the booming industry of Proptech in Israel, and we'll also meet startups in safety and in finance. Proptech, it's a booming but not often heard of industry here in Israel. So what is it exactly? What companies are out there and what major innovations are they bringing to the world? Well, my next guest is going to answer all these questions and tell us all about this up-and-coming industry. Joining us today is the Director of Business and Growth at Energy Innovation Hub, Elad Hameiri. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'll do my best answering all of those interesting
all those
topics.
Questions. So let's jump right in then. What exactly is Proptech?
So Proptech as a word represents property technologies, and it describes, generally speaking, the real estate technologies or technologies within the real estate space. Mm-hmm. When it comes to real estate, obviously it's wide. Tons of technologies can be implemented in the early stage of ideation of or developing an asset, through the construction phase, further on to manage the building, and then further on even to warranties. And we believe that at the end of the day, Proptech represent a very wide range of technologies that interfere or basically aims to improve real estate management and the real estate vertical, I would say.
And it's not just real estate though, right? As you mentioned, it's also safety issues and construction tech and financial, kind of, it's a whole...
Definitely. So everything involved real estate from the early stage of ideation and developing, mm-hmm. throughout insurance involved within the process, financing, marketing, protocols that will allow the both of us to actually acquire an asset with a mm-hmm. fraction of equity. So yeah, the technologies are ranging from, cameras, image recognition technologies that will allow identifying potential threats or hazard within a construction site, through a blockchain protocol that will allow us to acquire together an asset with easy and seamless platform, mm-hmm. through artificial intelligence that will allow platforms to identify potential, different stuff within mm-hmm. a construction site, and further on.
Okay, so we'll get in a little bit more into the details and the companies that are involved in a minute. And can you tell me a little bit about this industry, because it's relatively new, right? Here in Israel, at least.
Yeah, so generally speaking, PropTech as an industry is pretty well defined in the past 7 to 10 years. In Israel, it's more heard of in the past 5 years or so. Mm-hmm. We've been mapping this industry in the past 2 years, since we are operating in Israel for the past 4 years, and only in the past 2 years we started to deal with property tech or PropTech. And generally speaking, this industry attract more technologies and much more money. So if you look into 2015, before 2015, prior to that, you could find 30 or something companies dealing with mm-hmm. Different or a variety of technologies around this space, and now we have more than 110, 120. So it's a real surge of growing industry, both in terms of number of companies as well as with investment. So if you look into prior to 2015 mm-hmm. investment, you look into around $30-40 million invested in total. But if you look into it now, you can see over $1 billion invested in Israeli companies alone.
Oh wow! So it's a very significant.
Yeah, so significant growth, both in terms of the variety of technologies, mm-hmm. the number of startups, the entrepreneurs that are dealing with new ideas, mm-hmm. problem-solving processes, as well as with the actual number of technologies that you can find here.
Mm-hmm. And what are some of the most prominent innovations that we've seen come out of this industry from Israel?
So what I like in Israel is that we're not taking anything for granted, right? So we see a lot of technologies coming from military use or other verticals which are now converted to solve problems within a new industry. Mm-hmm. So if you'll take image recognition, for example, or Yeah, computer vision. We've seen this happening in marketing, in advertisement. We've seen Google and Facebook are doing this for identifying our faces, right?
Yeah.
But take this and implement this on the top of a crane working in a construction site and start to analyze the data you get from it by identifying the people, identifying the trucks. You can learn about the processes of the construction site, and then you can deal with hazards. The crane is carrying something above a group of people or workers or a truck. You can see image recognition within buildings where someone walks with a 360 camera and takes pictures or capture the current progress of the construction site or the building, and then images are being uploaded to the cloud, being analyzed, and you can get a full, detailed, transparent, unified truth of what really happens, right? These technologies converted from one vertical or one industry to another, to this Proptech, to this construction tech, are very interesting for us as investor, and very interesting. I think this is what pretty unique in Israel, where you see serial entrepreneurs.
And so I'll ask, how does energy fit into this industry?
Well, this is a great question because it's not trivial. Energy is a utility. As an energy renewable company, look further ahead into the future, and ask yourself basically where this industry is heading towards. And we all know that the energy prices are dropping; it becomes commodity, and it's going to be decentralized world. And we, as a company, look for the future business model and revenue streams that we can interact with. And well, buildings today consume around 40% of the global energy, both in the obviously the construction phase as well as the management phase. We would like as a utility to go beyond the meter. We have this mission of getting closer to our potential clients, not just selling the energy, but providing additional services, additional platforms. And by doing investments in Proptech industries or Proptech technologies, we are now being able to get closer to our potential clients or future clients. I'll give one example, which is pretty clear, but at the end of the day, if we can provide technologies that will allow future facility managers to better optimize occupancy, energy consumptions within their own buildings, we can get additional revenue streams, and we can provide better service to our future clients.
Great. Well, Elad, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.